Dear students, before starting our new chapter, I want to show you a beautiful video of the desert.
You will learn about the biome called desert. Although most people think of the Earth's deserts as wasteland, there is a large number of animals and plants that have adapted to the harsh conditions of a desert. In fact, 1/6 of the Earth's population live in desert regions. But what is a desert? Deserts cover more than 1/5 of the Earth's land, and they are found on every continent. A place that receives less than 10 inches or 25 centimeters of rain per year is considered a desert. If you take a look at this map of the Earth, you can locate areas that are deserts. The Sahara Desert is here. The Gobi Desert is found here. Arctic, polar, the Great Victorian, to name a few. Many deserts are dry and hot, but there are cold deserts as well. The Sahara Desert in northern Africa is the largest hot desert in the world and reaches temperatures up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Celsius during the day. But some deserts are cold, like the Gobi Desert in Asia and the desert on the continent of Antarctica. Desert animals have adapted ways to help either keep them cool and use less water. For example, camels can go for days without food and water. Many desert animals are nocturnal, coming out to hunt only at night in order to avoid the sun. Some animals, like this tortoise, will spend much of their time underground in a burrow. Other desert animals have adaptations to help keep them warm and survive in cold temperatures. This polar bear has thick layers of fat and fur for insulation against the cold, and the white appearance is helpful for camouflage. The snowshoe hare has white fur in the winter and reddish-brown fur in the summer, which means it is camouflaged from its predators for most of the year. Desert plants may have to go without water for long periods of time. Several plants have adapted by growing long roots that reach the water table underground. Other plants, like cacti, conserve water in order to stay alive. Plants in cold deserts grow close to the ground and close together, which helps resist the effects of cold weather and to reduce damage caused by snow and ice particles driven by the cold winds. Some plants, like lichens, can survive on bare rock. Plants and animals in hot deserts have to survive extreme heat. Death Valley holds the record for the hottest temperature ever recorded at 134.06 degrees Fahrenheit. Plants and animals in cold deserts have to survive extreme cold. Average temperature of the Arctic polar desert is negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter. So there we go, a look at our biome called desert. Thanks for watching, and Mumu Math uploads a new.
General to all students, I am again APARNA TIWARI, your English subject teacher, here to start a new topic from our literature book An Alien Hand. Then before starting my content, I want to just remind you to follow the SMS. SMS S for soap, wash your hands frequently, M for mask, wear a mask when you go outside, and maintain social distancing. Now I want to explain the new chapter, and the name of the chapter is the desert. Yes, you know very well, a desert is generally without water and vegetation, a green patch with fresh water and green trees in the middle of a vast desert in a beautiful sight. A desert may be too hot or too cold. Both it can be. It can be too hot and also too cold. There are the many examples of desert which are too hot, like the Sahara Desert, the hottest desert in the world, and the cool desert can be the example, the Ladakh. In India, the Ladakh is the cool desert. Okay, now here we are in the content. Those of us who live in regions covered with forest and surrounded by hills may find it difficult to imagine what a desert is really like. The popular belief is that it is an endless stretch of land where no rain falls and therefore no vegetation grows. Yes, it is dry, hot, waterless, and without shelter. What are the symptoms of desert? That it is dry, it is hot, without water it is, and no shelter also. But this is not entirely correct. For those who have studied it, the desert can be a beautiful place. Yes, it is a beautiful place. It is a tourist place. It is the home of a variety of people, animals, and plants that have learned to live under very hot and dry conditions. Yes, it's very true that the ground is not always hidden by a cover of grass, plants, and trees. Okay, but whenever it rains, which is rare, desert flowers bloom and sight can be as rewarding as that of a tropical garden. A desert is not always a flat. Okay, it's not a flat, it's having an unchanging wasteland of dry sand. Okay, so it may have mountains and hills also. It doesn't mean that desert is a flat land. Sometimes it have the mountains and hills. It may have oasis, big or a small. And what is oasis? An oasis is like a green island in the middle of a desert where a spring or a well gives plants and trees a better chance to grow. Okay, so oasis is what? It is a green island in the middle of a desert. A desert may be hot like the Thar and cold like Ladakh. Yes, I have given you example. But generally speaking, if a place has little or no water and vegetation, people usually call it as a desert. Now the next stanza, next para. True, the ground is not always hidden by a cover of grasslands. Yes, you know. Okay. So what they are saying that desert flowers bloom and the sight can be rewarding as that of any tropical garden. A desert is not always a flat land. Okay, they are having the mountains, they are having the hills. Now what they are saying in the next para, I have just explained you what is an oasis. Oasis is a green island in the middle of a desert and where a spring or well gives plants and trees a better chance to grow. Okay, here are the examples. What are the examples? Thar for the hot one, and for the cold one, cold desert is Ladakh. But generally speaking, if a place has little or no water or vegetation, people usually call it as a desert. But some deserts are almost totally without water. Some deserts are without water. There is a very much a scarcity of water. In such places, strong winds blow, raising heaps of sands and depositing them as a mounds. These are called sand dunes. So what are sand dunes? Sand dunes are the places where the strong winds blow, raising heaps of sand. Heaps मतलब कि एक के ऊपर एक sand की परत जमती जाती है और वो क्या हो जाते हैं and depositing them as a mound. और एक mound का shape, एक छोटे पहाड़ छोटे पर्वत का shape ले लेते हैं. That are the sand dunes. And that shift and move endlessly across the desert. और वो धीरे धीरे अपनी जो है places change करते रहते हैं. जिस तरफ डायरेक्शन हवा का विंड का फ्लो ज़्यादा होता है उस तरफ जो है धीरे धीरे बालू इकट्ठा होती जाती है एक जगह पे और वो एक बड़ा रूप ले लेती है. फिर अगर दूसरी जगह डायरेक्शन एयर की ब्लो होती है, विंड ब्लो होती है, तो फिर वो दूसरी जगह, तो वो पूरे डेजर्ट में शिफ्ट होते रहते हैं. Few plants can survive on such dry shifting sands. Deserts, plants and animals learn to require much less water than most plants and animals. Yes, the plants and animals in deserts require less water. Okay, and you know the camel is a typical desert animal, the sheep of the desert. All living things need water in order to survive. The few plants and animals that live in desert have developed the ability to require less water than most plants and animals. Yes, you should know that the plants and animals which are flourish in desert, they just make habitual themselves. वो अपने अंदर ऐसी abilities develop कर लेते हैं, habitual हो जाते हैं उस climate में survive करने के लिए. अगर हम उन्हें यहाँ ले आएंगे in the tropical land, in the northern land, in the agricultural land, so they cannot survive here as flourish as fulfill in the deserts. Okay, Now the camel, popularly known as the ship of desert, you know very well, can drink a lot of water at one time. Camels can do without water for days together. The reason is that they sweat very little. We sweat because we must keep our body temperature constant. We sweat when it gets hot and this cools the body. Camels can stand high body temperature. Okay, they don't need to sweat and can therefore retain the water they drink for long periods of time. Because they are not having the quality of sweating, they maintain their body temperature according to the atmosphere, according to the outside temperature of comparing to their body. That's why they are not sweating. Camels are not sweating and they retain the water they drink for long periods of time. The smaller desert animals do not drink water. Yes, they burrow underground during the hot day and come out at a night to eat. वो दिन भर अपने आप को नीचे बोरो अंडरग्राउंड में छुपा के रखते हैं और रात में बाहर आते हैं, इसलिए उन्हें पानी पीने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती है. Some of them eat other animals and get the water they need from the moisture in the meat. जो बड़े जानवर हैं वो छोटे जानवरों को खा लेते हैं और उनके मीट से, उनके फ्लैश से जो उनको जूस मिलता है उससे वो अपना वाटर की रिक्वायरमेंट कंप्लीट कर लेते हैं. Other eats plants and seeds and get water they need from plant juices. और कुछ एनिमल्स हैं जो प्लांट्स और क्या कहते हैं सीड्स को खाते हैं जिनसे उनकी जूसेस से उनकी वाटर रिक्वायरमेंट कंप्लीट हो जाती है. Desert plants also adapt themselves to the life they lead. Cactus plants store water in their thick stems. Their roots lie close to the surface of the ground and quickly absorb the moisture from the light rains and that occasionally fall. The major feature of all desert is, of course, dryness. So what is the major feature of desert? Dryness and variations of temperature. In humid climates, the moisture in the air acts like a blanket and protects the earth's surface from the hot rays of the sun. The absence of this blanket in desert lands causes the desert to heat up rapidly during the day and to cool off rapidly at night. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे क्या बता रहे हैं कि द टेम्परेचर ऑफ डेजर्ट इन द डे टाइम इट्स वेरी हॉट एंड एट द नाइट इट इज़ वेरी कूल. Okay, so it's make the change of temperature rapidly. Deserts are an important part of nature's great plan. They are like the dense forest and the deep oceans. Just because they are hot and dry, one should not look upon them as useless parts of the earth. Yes, so deserts are the most important part of our nature cycle. Okay, they are like a dense forest and also deep oceans. So we should know the importance of desert in our nature, in our life. Okay, thank you. I hope this explanation is very much clear to you all. Thank you and Jai Narayan.